Today we will be converting this into this and this into this. But first we will start the game with very limited resources, just 5 coins and a lump of coal. Later we will get involved into many businesses, which will give us access to all those cool resources. But all this time we'll have to remember that it's energy and steel that are very important for winning this game. So for the second half of the game we will focus on those 2 resources. Many experienced players believe that this makes this game flawed, almost broken, but I don't care, because I love this portion of the game. It makes me happy. It makes me feel like a kid in a candy store. Welcome to Board Game Detectives. My name is Serge, and today we'll talk about Le Havre. I love this game and I highly recommend it. It definitely gets the gem rating from me. I believe Le Havre is an excellent introduction to heavy games. Even though it is rated at medium heavy, I believe the way it plays it is closer to medium light. Unlike many other games where you're constantly stranded for resources, here throughout the whole game you have a lot of options. You will not necessarily win the game, but you will always have something to do and it is very enjoyable. Today we'll talk more about the game, but first let's check the BGG stats. Le Havre was designed by Uwe Rosenberg, who is one of the best designers in the world. He made dozens of different games and 5 of them are in the top 100. A Feast for Odin, Caverna, Agricola, Le Havre and Fields of Arle. Very well done. The game was released in 2008 and it has rating of 7.9, rank of 63, again in top 100. Community believes it plays best at 3. It plays up to 150 minutes, but it can definitely take much longer than that. And the weight is 372, but as I mentioned, it does feel much lighter than that. Very simple and streamlined rules. When we look at the rating breakdown, we can see that excellent results here. Over 20,000 people rated this game at 8+. Very well done. Amazing game. So what does Le Havre even mean? Le Havre, and I'm definitely saying it wrong, but anyways, means the port. Le Havre is the second largest port in France. The town was founded over 500 years ago, so it has very long history. And in this game, you will be the one who builds the city up, and you will be a part of this history. At the beginning of the game, the town is very small. There are only 3 buildings, and all of them are construction firms that allow you to build the main buildings that are neatly stacked here, from the simplest ones to the most complex. But you can see all of them and you know what's coming. Each of the buildings has a construction cost, like here it's 2 wood and 1 clay. So where are we getting resources from? On your turn, you will go to one of the port tiles, and each of them has some resources. Like here we have wood and clay. So if I go here, 1 wood and 1 clay will be added to one of the 7 offering spaces. And now I have a choice. I can take any one of them. So let's say I take all of the wood. Now the next player goes on the next tile and it says fish and grain. So 1 fish and 1 grain is added. And now this player looks, okay, there is a lot of grain. Looks like a great offering. I'll take all of the grain. Players keep alternating by going on the next available tile in the port. So what happens when they reach the end of it? Feeding time. Depending on the player count and the round, you will be required to provide certain quantity of food for your people. One of my favorite mechanics is that there are 7 spots in the port, which means that every round you will have different quantity of moves before your next feeding time. And the higher the player count, the less of those moves you can have. Let's say at the 4 players, at some rounds you'll have just 1 move before the next time you need to provide food. And this might sound very stressful, but it's okay. If you don't have food, you can pay with money. And if you don't have money, there are loans in this game. You can take as many as you need to cover your food needs, and each of them would give you 4 coins. And taking loans is not that big of a deal, because they are relatively easy to repay later in the game. But what they do, first of all, they keep your people alive and let them focus on building the city. But let's say if you do want to get some actual food. There are 4 resources that can be used as food in this game: fish, smoked fish, bread, and meat. So if you have grain, you cannot use that to feed your people. What you need is a bakehouse, which allows you to convert grain into bread. Please notice that to do that, you need energy. And there are 4 resources that can be used as energy. We have wood, charcoal, coal, and coke. And again, how do you make charcoal and coke? You need specialized buildings that would make this conversion for you. Le Havre is a resource conversion game. You will be doing a lot of it. Here's another example. You will be converting cattle into meat and hides, and later hides into leather and money. By mid-game, you will literally have a mountain of resources in front of you. And for me, this is awesome. It makes me happy. It makes me feel like a kid in a candy store. And I truly enjoy just this experience of managing all those resources around. By the way, I'm using upgraded tokens that greatly elevate this experience, and I store them in those jars. I will leave links in the description. Feeding is not the only thing that happens at the end of the round. There are some more very cool mechanisms that I really like. First of all, most rounds have harvest, where you can get more grain and cows if you already have those. Also, some rounds, the city will build the cheapest available building and make it available for you. And in some rounds, specialized building can be built by the city, which gives some cool powers for your game. And those special buildings are very special. This complete edition comes with 82 of those special buildings. And for each game, you need just 6, which means that every game will be different. Every game you would have to adjust the strategies based on which special buildings are available for you. Now let's get back to our end of the round cards that are also very, very special. When you resolve all of the actions, you would flip this card and there is a ship. There can be up to 20 rounds in this game, and as game progresses, ships become better and better. So we have wooden ship, iron ship, steel, and luxury liner. They are available for you to either build or purchase, and besides very nice victory points, they also provide you with 2 main features. The first one is that they partially satisfy your food needs, which is very important for this game. And secondly, they allow you to sell goods, which again is very important. At the end of the game, money is victory points, so you do want to make as much of it as possible. By the end of the game, shipping line becomes one of the most important places to go to. On each of your ships, you would load up to 4 goods and then you would sell them. And the price could range from 1 to 8 coins for each of your goods. What's really cool is that the combination of these mechanics works fantastically well. And it paints a story that you are living through, and it is very enjoyable. I love it a lot, and I highly recommend this game. If you are still watching, thank you so much. See you next time.